Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clint Zoka. Welcome back to another My Thoughts on. We're going to do another double one. Today, I'll be talking about the new Marvel film Venom. Also, I think the seventh Marvel film by Sony, and this one does not include Spider-Man at all. And then I'm going to talk about A Star Is Born, but first I just kind of want to get Venom out the way. So Venom's about, it's pretty hard to explain, but it's about this disease that came from an asteroid. It's come down to Earth. It's spreading, and there's this businessman named Colton Drake who wants to test it out on humans to see if they would come together and see if they would evolve, and then use them, I guess. And then reporter Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, who spoiler alert, loses his job because of Colton Drake. And he's broken up with his girlfriend, played by Michelle Williams. And then it happens. The disease that came from the asteroid is now taken over Eddie Brock, and now he's become Venom. And now they can do whatever they want, and they have to try and take down this villain. And I know it is Carlton Drake before he spreads it around the world. That's literally all I've got, because look, I want to like this movie because I've heard not good things about it, and I was wrong. This movie is not as bad, but it's not that good. Wow, this movie was just a mess. Everyone can agree that this is probably one of the goofiest, dumbest, unspecial, blandest, predictablest, and so one of the most uninteresting Marvel films I've seen in so long. And there wasn't even a bad Marvel film in recent years, but this one, it broke the record. It's like fucking Pixar went from Toy Story to Cars 2, which broke the Rotten Tomato record, and now it's gone down to Rotten, and this one did the same. Not only is the plot just your typical character who becomes a supernatural being, there's a bad guy who wants to experiment on him and take over the world and stuff, but it's also him trying to get his girlfriend back, and oh my god, this could be really good. This could be like Deadpool, and it is similar to Deadpool. It is Deadpool, actually, but not in a good way. Not only is the film so bland and so uninteresting that I just didn't care about Eddie Brock or any character in the film. Like, there was, I'll go more into it, but let's just say there's nothing, and I repeat, nothing that cracked a smile out of me. Maybe a few chuckles, and there was the one action scene. You've seen the clip where he turns into Venom and he fights off these guys, these SWAT guys, I think. That was pretty fun, and I'll give it that. It's pretty creative what they do with Venom. But it's so loud and just, it tries too hard, and heck, it has comedy. Oh, yeah, it's a Marvel film, so it's got to have comedy. I'll give it this. I'll give it that it's not like comedy filled, it's more drama filled. But the problem is, it's not funny. It takes itself too seriously, and it's not very dramatic, and I don't care. I went to see this with a almost packed theatre, and I was just sitting there like, you know when you have someone sitting on a chair and they have their hands on their cheeks like they're bored? That's me. And I was with my two friends, and there was this one scene where Eddie Brock was in the tower where Colton Drake works, and Venom says, "Jump!" And he doesn't do that. He goes to the elevator and he said, "Pussy." That, my friends, is what I call a cheap laugh. And the whole audience was laughing. I was just thinking to myself, It's not that funny. It's because they're so easily amused and they'll just laugh at anything, which is fine, but I just didn't find it funny. Actually, I just laughed at it, not with the film. It was just so disorganized and ugh, so baffling. It's just it doesn't take itself too seriously, and at times when it does, it gets hilarious. And without giving anything away, the mid-credits scene made me go, "Who's that?" I'll be the first to admit that I don't know a lot about Marvel, DC, so don't expect me to know a lot. There's this one character, I won't say who it is because one, I don't know who he is, and two, spoilers. He's played by Woody Harrelson. I just went, who is that? Is he like a new villain or something? I mean, did this take place after Infinity War? It's just really confusing. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. You know, the plot could have had so much potential and the concept's pretty good. But it's just so disorganized and just not all that interesting. It's just not funny, dramatic, it's just bland and predictable. You know what's going to happen. It just makes it one of the dullest plots from Marvel, or in general. Visuals. Well, if there's one of the many saving graces of the film, it's the visuals. It's well shot and it looks quite nice. It's a pleasant film to look at. And, it's not a badly looking film. It looks pretty good. Even though Spider-Man Homecoming looks better, I say this is close. The CGI on Venom and Riot looks pretty good, for the most part. When Venom enters or takes control of Eddie Brock, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty creative. It gets a little fun. When the action scenes come down with Venom, it's fun, it's exciting, it looks great. When he fights Riot, this is not a spoiler, it's in the trailers, it looks fun. But then the CGI just looked bland. It just looked like Batman v Superman. And I'll admit, not only did this film remind me of Deadpool and maybe a bit of Deadpool 2, but fuck me, Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman. It was just it's just so hard to avoid the comparisons, and the CGI is not terrible. It's just not that interesting. It's just very basic, and I liked Venom's design here. It looked pretty cool, but oh my god. Oh my god, it's just so CGI filled. They use it too much. It doesn't look that good that much. Especially near the third act when it gets just messy and just bland. But again, it's a very competently well shot film. It's not bad looking. It's pleasant to look at. The CGI on the Venom, the Riot, and the whatever the other things are, it looks pretty nice, it looks pretty good. But at the same time, it looks pretty cheap, it doesn't look very special, it's not the best CGI from Marvel, oh god, is it the worst? I'll say it's almost the worst, it's not like... It's not like Deadpool. It's not Deadpool's CGI bad, but even they admit it's bad. This one is just pretty basic and it doesn't look like anything special. It's not awful CGI, it's okay, but the film looks well shot. Characters and acting. Okay, so our main character Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, I thought he was really unlikable. I mean, yeah, in the end he does the right thing, but for the most part, he's trying to be like Wade Wilson with Tom Hardy's performance and everything. Just makes him not all that interesting and just kind of bland. I never found him that interesting at all. Even when he turns into Venom, he gets goofy, over the top, not cringy, but when it comes to the humor, I'll admit he did give me a couple of like, but whenever it comes to the audience laughing, I never found it funny because the movie is looking for a cheap way to make audiences laugh. Critics like me, I never found most of the film funny. I just found it kind of bland and boring and not. And it didn't really crack a smile at me. I mean, he could have been good like Peter Parker because he's so relatable and all that. Here, he is, but he's just not that likable or that interesting. And to be fair, there isn't too much about him. His girlfriend, I think her name is Anne. She's not all that interesting either. She's just the love interest, and even her boyfriend, whose name I don't remember, is just the friend who helps him, who turns out to be a surgeon and a doctor. The villain, Carlton Drake, is easily, and I will say this, easily one of, if not the worst, Marvel villain. I mean, there have been a couple of bad Marvel villains, but this one just takes the cake. Adrian Toomes from Homecoming was so much better because there's a reason why he's doing it. This one is doing it because he wants to change the world. Gee, I'm getting Tomorrowland flashbacks from that. I don't know who else is there. The assistant played by Jenny Slate, who literally does bugger all. The Venom character, he's fine. I mean, he's okay. Sure, he gets a bit loud and a little unfunny, but he doesn't do much. You know what? I like the interactions with him and Eddie Brock. It does get kind of inventive and interesting, but that's not saying much. Everyone else, like he's like Drake's bodyguards. Oh God, I think those are like the only characters to care about, even though I don't care about any of them. I know, I don't even have a favourite. It's really sad. The acting's passable, I guess, and I don't want to use the word passable because these people are very good. Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Jenny Slate. I like these people. Tom Hardy, he's okay. His American accent's pretty good, and I thought he was fine in the role. He could have been. I mean, Eddie Brock could have been played by anyone than Tom Hardy, but he's not a bad choice. I like Tom Hardy. I think he's probably one of my favourite actors. Here, he's fine. Not his best role, but he's passable. Michelle Williams is okay as well. I like Michelle Williams as well. I think she's a really beautiful and, likeable actress. Here, she's beautiful and likeable. That's all I've got. His boyfriend, whose actor I don't know, is fine. Jenny Slate's probably the best one out of all of them. The villain, Drake, fine. Funny enough, his actor's from London, so he's not bad actually. Even though his villain is very weak, but he's fine. Everyone else, fine. How are the characters? Not that interesting. The acting, passable. Or, in other words, fine. Also, like Suicide Squad, this movie has an awful soundtrack. It's not like Peter Rabbit level of awful, but it's close. It's just rap, rap, rap. They even have it in the credits as well. It's just, oh. When I said this movie is just like Suicide Squad, I was not joking. Wow. Not only is this easily the weaker of Marvel films, this might be a bit harsh, but this is easily the worst. I know Hulk exists, but I haven't seen Hulk, so I'm not going to say that one's worse. But this is easily the worst one. I was really disappointed. Venom is not good. A weak story, very predictable, bland, uninteresting, not all that funny. It can at times get me a chuckle, but I just laugh at how bad it looks. Not visually, but just how bad it's trying to be taken seriously, or does it want to be a comedy? It throws so much elements in there that it doesn't know what it wants to be, and that's not good. That's not good at all. When it wants to be a drama, it's funny. When it wants to be a comedy, it's not all that funny. Granted, it visually looks nice, and Venom's design looks pretty cool. The acting's passable, but the characters are so bland, so uninteresting, and I don't care about them. The movie doesn't look like anything special, and the CGI can be a bit distracting. I don't want to say this, but I don't recommend Venom at all. I really don't. It's not like the worst film I've ever seen. It's not the worst film of the year. It's not as bad as like Pudsey the Dog the movie or Mamma Mia 2, but how do I put this? It's slightly worse than Sherlock Gnomes. I'm going to repeat that. It's slightly worse than Sherlock Gnomes. That's how bad it is. At least Sherlock Gnomes is harmless, and at least kids can watch it. I don't recommend this to anyone. With its 15 rating, just like Suicide Squad and The Mummy, I don't know why it's just resulting to these films becoming just so bad. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. I don't recommend this at all. It could have been a lot worse, but it could have been a lot better. Right. With that piece of blandness out the way, let's talk about the film that I want to talk about, A Star Is Born. The film is directed by Bradley Cooper, stars Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. It's about a singer named Jackson Maine, played by Bradley Cooper, who is pretty well known, pretty famous, and when he comes into a bar, and when he sees Abby, played by Lady Gaga, he sees the potential of her becoming a pop star, and has a little crush on her. As they go on from tour to tour, they both become close to each other, they start to love each other, which is pretty good. But like in a film like this, you know what's going to happen. They're going to fall apart, have arguments. One's going to have a job by someone who really wants her face on everywhere, billboards, magazines. And then our hero might actually have an alcohol problem. Like Venom, this isn't like anything special, but unlike Venom, this works. Why? Because while Venom is too over the top and when it tries to be dramatic, it's not. When this one tries to be dramatic, it does it right. It doesn't use emotional music, although the songs, I will admit here, are fantastic. When it tries to pull off real emotion, it works. You can feel the characters, you can feel the actors. They're not trying too hard, they're just doing it so genuine. I'll talk more about that. So how is it well executed? I think it's fantastically well executed because you can see the journey that these two are going through, and even if it's good or bad, you can relate to them. You can see how they're feeling about this, changing their lives, and finding a little bit more about each other. It gets so interesting, and I never once got bored. Because I cared about Jackson, I cared about Abby, even some of the other characters I thought had a little bit of a depth to them. But Jackson, or in the film he just preferred to be called Jack, and Abby are the two that have the most care in the film. It shows you how their lives are going from pretty good to low. And without giving anything away, the ending, while at first I didn't quite follow, it's pretty damn sad. So if you're expecting a uplifting film like The Greatest Showman, then I mean you'll find it here. But unlike The Greatest Showman, this is better, and this is really sad as well. Really sad. I didn't cry, but I felt what these actors were feeling. And I could definitely tell Bradley Cooper, I believe he directed American Sniper, which I thought was pretty damn good. I can tell he has a lot of passion for this project here, and I believe this is a remake as well. So knowing Bradley Cooper, who was in the Hangover movie, and he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, it's nice for him to come back to directing again. I could definitely tell he has a lot of passion for this project, and he seems to put in so much effort in directing and telling this beautiful story. And oh god, I really enjoyed the film. Not in like a comedic way, although I will admit this movie is funny. And whenever the audience laughed, I laughed because it was funny. Unlike Venom. I'm sorry, but I just didn't like Venom. This movie I liked, even though even though it's not perfect, which I will get to. Bradley Cooper, Bradley Cooper, Cooper, Bradley Cooper composed a beautiful story with thought-provoking narration, and it tells it visually and, well, I wouldn't say metaphorically, but it tells it in a beautiful, simple way, and that's what I like about it. The visuals. Oh wow! I never thought a film about music would look this good. Granted, I mean, Mamma Mia 2 and The Greatest Showman look good, but this looks beautiful. Not only is this just trying to capture real life, but it does it so successfully that it feels like you're with them. Fun fact. According to what Bradley Cooper said on Graham Norton, there's a scene where he is filming him performing one of the songs from the album in front of a live audience, and that wasn't like set up, that actually happened. That's how good it is. They're trying to capture realism by actually doing it instead of just behind a green screen or something. Now that is really good. At least he actually wanted to try it. Good on you, Cooper. Good on you. Yeah, so the movie's not only visually nice, it's beautiful. It's very pleasant to look at. It's never dull at all. Even if it's at a place you looked at before, or looks familiar, it still looks good. And when it comes to when they're performing on stage, it gets beautiful, relatable. Again, it feels like you're actually there watching them perform. It's that amazing. The makeup on and the costumes that Gaga wears is quite beautiful. The movie's very well shot. It actually looks like a place I would love to go to. It's that good. Yeah, not much else to say really, but beautiful. It's just a really beautiful looking film. I wouldn't be surprised if it got nominated for Best Visuals or Best Song. Characters and acting. Jackson Maine he's charming, although a little unlikable, but he's calm, charming, likable. He has a good heart for Abby, and he cares about her and her success and career. I really liked him. I thought he was pretty good. Abby's and the chemistry with him and Abby is so damn good. And Abby's a pretty well fleshed out character too. I cared about her a lot. I mean, sure, she's just the girl who's like a little, who's like the troublemaker, but when she comes to become famous as the Abby, she becomes a little bit bigger, and she's trying to look for a perfect choice in her life. And Jackson may not always be on board, but she still loves him with all her heart. And I love them too. I think them two were fucking brilliant together with their chemistry. Bobby, who's played by Sam Elliott, and I believe he's related to Jackson. I know it's not his father. I mean, you've already explained that. I think he might be his brother or something. I don't know. He's pretty good in the film. He didn't do a lot, but he did give some motivation for Jackson. And I guess it kind of worked. I don't remember too much from him. Not that it's forgettable, but he didn't do a lot for me. So I guess he was okay there. Then there's this other guy. I don't remember his name, but he gets Abby to become like a faith for his company, and and then you know where this is going. She says she doesn't want to do it without Jackson. He says no, you have to do it without Jackson. He's not a bad guy. He's just a greedy businessman. There are other characters in the film, like the strippers from where Abby works. They have the dog that they have. Fun fact: that's actually Bradley Cooper's dog. I know. Then there's like the Black family where them two got married. This is not a spoiler. I think that's in the trailers as well. Right, I do like the characters. I really do, especially Jack and Abby. Right, acting. Bradley Cooper, Jesus Christ, man, he is so damn good here. He's believable. He's funny. He's charming. I mean, oh my God, he's so good in here. I really liked him. I wouldn't be surprised if his performance was nominated for Best Actor. And Lady Gaga, again, surprisingly good for a pop star. And when you look at her, I was like, is that Lady Gaga? Because it doesn't look like her. When I looked up, I was like, oh my God, it is. It's because she wears lots of costumes and different makeup, but without them, she looks beautiful here. And she's funny, charismatic, and she has what Rihanna doesn't. So, well done. I wouldn't be surprised either if she got nominated as well. Actually, if this movie got nominated for Best Picture and Best Original Song, Best Actor, Best Actress, I think it does deserve it. Sam Elliott's pretty good. I always liked Sam Elliott. Even though the only one film I've seen him in is Just a Good Dinosaur, but here, he's very believable. I cared about him too. Everyone else is pretty good. There's the driver who... Jackson's driver, he's played by that one actor who was in The Tiger's Tail, and I think he was also in Star Wars as well. He was pretty good as well. In fact, everyone does a great job. Even if their roles are minor, I believed in what everyone was thinking. I believed their performances. They weren't faking it. They were pushing so much into it. So with two characters with good chemistry and other characters who are supporting characters done right, and with some fantastic acting, there's no way for me to think that this is fake. This is truly and unbelievably real. And now, the songs. This is unlike Mamma Mia, where it's annoying and The Greatest Showman are just kind of... Well, I mean, most of The Greatest Showman songs are pretty good, and this one is modern as well, but this one is... It's done so beautifully and not over-exaggerated like the other two. This one is just done so normal, so beautiful, so perfect, especially the end song. I was like... Oh my God, so sad. I didn't cry or anything. I felt so much coming from there, and it's just, oh God. I don't remember all the song names, but when I listen to them again, I'll remember them. But let's just say they're all fantastic, and I love all the songs. I think they're amazing. So in the end, Star Wars Born, beautiful. Granted, I think Okay, I do have one criticism. It's that the businessman who wants Abby to be famous and stuff. You know who I'm talking about. He's played by that guy who... He sounds Australian, but the actor who plays him is actually from the UK. I didn't find him that interesting. That's literally it. Everything else, beautiful. It's well acted, it's well directed, it looks beautiful, it's visually nice, the acting is fantastic. The two characters are well fleshed out and they have good chemistry. They're very believable. The songs are amazing as well. And Bradley Cooper, you've done it again. Good on you, man. I highly recommend this movie. If you're a tearjerker, I don't really recommend it. It's really sad. But if you want to pick a better film like Venom, this, or Johnny English Strikes Again, which I have not seen but I don't plan to, I do recommend A Star Is Born. Guys, please go and see it. It's a really good movie, and I will give it a 9.9 out of 10. Right, so next, with Smallfoot coming out in UK cinemas next week, I'm going to be reviewing the Warner Animations Group, and I'm not going to do the Lego movies because the Lego Movie 2 will be coming out, and I'll do them then. I'm going to do Storks. I probably won't do it on Monday. I'll have to do it on Friday when it's close to seeing the film. So look forward to that. Let me know what you think of these two films. I'm interested. If you like Venom, that's okay. If you don't, I understand. If you don't like A Star Wars Born, that's fine. If you like it, then of course I understand. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, bye for now.